All right. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm just going to give it a few seconds to figure out how this works. So, this is our very first YouTube live stream. And I just thought it was important to come on here and speak to you all. And it's been a long time since we've come live on YouTube. And I just felt like it was the right time to hop on here, try out this new format of video content, and try to make this more frequent. I think just being on here live like this. So I think a lot of you might catch this in a replay format after the live has ended. But those of you that are here, please feel free to jump into the chat and say something. Hey, I do see a hi there in the comments. So awesome. I think that we'll get started. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on here, everyone, and share a bunch of updates. It's been a long time since we've uploaded videos regularly onto our channel, and I wanted to share where we are now, what direction we're going in, how we're thinking, and also maybe get some feedback in the comments and from you all on what might be most helpful for you. So I think let's start from scratch. I think when we started this channel, we really wanted to share more on yoga philosophy, be as authentic as we can with our research and our delivery, and really be able to share the love for yoga philosophy that I have, and now that my team has as well. So that was the intention with which we began the channel. And it's been, I would say, 4 or 5 years since I first got started, tried to be comfortable with speaking on camera, just getting used to equipment, building a team, all of that stuff. And it's been amazing, as a journey to learn about YouTube, to learn about being on screen. Just to learn how to do this has been quite a rewarding experience in itself. And as most of you know, I think our Patanjali Yoga Sutra video series has done really well. And people are, I think it's because we really stuck to it and we decided that we really seriously wanted to put out every single sutra as much as we could. And that's what we did, right? Like we covered all 195 as much as we could and shared all of that information with you. So it's been a phenomenal journey. But I do feel like a part of me, because that was something I've always wanted to do, make this content and make the Yoga Sutra videos. I felt like once I finished doing that, for a while I was like, oh, now what? Because I finished doing the thing that I've always really wanted to do. And it took us a long time. We filmed throughout 2021, edited through 2021 and 2022, and then, finished releasing the videos in 2022 completely. So ever since then, a lot has also changed in my life personally, and even with the company and the way we're growing things and how things are moving. So, just to give you all some background, right? Once we finished the Yoga Sutra videos, I was in Pune at the time when I was filming all of those videos, and I moved back to living in Mumbai in India. And so, I think the move with moving cities and coming back to my home city and then figuring out the post pandemic situation, how life works here now, how to navigate friendships, family life, also continuing to keep the business running, going from online into offline. So it was definitely a lot of changes and transitions after we finished the Yoga Sutra series. And I was just getting used to like, how does it work? How does everything fall into place? And so it's been an interesting last couple of months of just trying to, I think, settle down, really just being grounded and trying to see how to make things work in the city. And I have to say, I'm in a great place. I think I've always been in a good place overall, but now it's a great place to be in, with the Yoga Sutra videos done and business wise things picking up. We've started teaching offline quite a bit. So we teach in studios in Mumbai, and then also I teach in the residential complex that I live in. So it's been really nice to explore that world, going from the world of online teaching and videos to back to offline. And in terms of where we want to go with the work that we're doing, I think we've been exploring, of course, a lot of in person work. But I think one of the main things is that in the last year, I rediscovered my love for dance as well. And so I've been combining a lot of yoga and dance and trying to create a new format, which we call dance flow, and bringing that to life as well. So it's, as you can imagine, it's been a lot of figuring out the niche that we want to fit into, the kind of work that we want to focus on. So at the moment, we do an amalgamation of many things. One is, of course, our online classes that we still continue to teach. It has a lot of Indian as well as international students, and we practice in India time in the morning. Then I go ahead and teach offline classes in my residential complex here. And then I do a lot of philosophy online one on one classes, which has been amazing. I think that has been the most rewarding experience because you get to so deeply interact with one person and then explain yoga philosophy in depth, and not only explain yoga philosophy but take philosophy into real life and keep combining both of them and then seeing like how do they work, how do we make more sense of it, and intertwining philosophy with real life experiences, which has been phenomenally rewarding. I didn't realize I would love it so much, but I really, really enjoy teaching those one on one sessions and, getting into it. I have such beautiful students with amazing questions, and I learn so much every time that I'm interacting with all of them. And a lot of them, and a lot of you actually found the work through YouTube. So it's been incredible to see people seeing our videos across the globe, different countries, right? Like we have students from Dubai, the EU, the US, London, UK, Australia, it just all over the place, Italy. So I'm just amazed by the power of the internet also, that we can come on here, share about the things that we love, and people can just come and find you, and then you can work together and build a healthy like student teacher relationship. And it's just so I just yeah, I love it. And so the one-on-one philosophy has been like game changing for me. I'm really, really enjoying that. And we're taking on more students in that space, and it's just been great. And aside from that, we're also doing a lot of corporate classes, so teaching different business organizations and working with their employees, and then also a lot of brand collaborations. We did actually uh, three original TV series with Tata Play Fitness, which is a pretty big television provider in India here. So that was a phenomenal learning experience. And then also with a couple of other TV networks where we've begun licensing our content. So a lot of it goes to them, and then they kind of stream it on television, which also has increased the visibility and the reach of some of our content pieces. So I'm really, really, again, grateful for that. So yeah, I would say, it's a whole gamut of things: online, offline, content, corporates, courses, classes. And then we also released our first online course as well last year, which has been amazing. So I think, yeah, all this to say that I think it's been a great learning experience, and lots of different streams where we're like dipping our toes into and trying to see where we fit best and what would be the best way to uh, maneuver the business. So that's kind of where we are. At the same time, with all of this going on, me and my team are also embarking on continuing our masters in yoga. Like we've all done a yoga teacher training. And of course, my brother and we lived and grew up at a yoga institution where my father is the director. So it's been, I mean, I think we've been doing it since we were born, to be honest, because we just lived at Kevalidham for so many years that it's just a part of who we are. But now we're also doing a master's in Yoga Shastra, which has been incredible. So many new learnings and teachings, so many things where we're looking at the same content from a different lens, and then it makes more sense. So you start seeing some things you hadn't noticed before. So yeah, like learning a lot of nuances of the practice of the philosophies, which has been again very deeply rewarding. And then aside, so yeah, so Monday to Friday we're working in all these different streams of work, and then Saturday Sunday we have the master's course. And I think with all of that going on across the last year, it has definitely been um, more challenging than usual to have our regular uploads going, and to continue to kind of have things on the channel. So next steps is we're trying to think about where we want to go in terms of our content. And the last video we posted was that we were going to have a Hatha Pradipika series, and we did start working on that. But I think, at least for me, I quickly realized that with the Yoga Sutras, I had studied that text for such a long time that when we started filming the videos, it was so natural to kind of every single sutra. But when we started with Hatha Pradipika and filming it, I realized we did a couple of videos, and I realized that I it took me much longer to film as compared to the Yoga Sutras, and I just felt that I should probably hold on it a little bit. We did we did get a couple of videos done, and then I felt like, okay, I should wait on this. So what we're doing now is we are planning to have different series coming out, things that we're already kind of doing offline as well, that we can very easily translate online, so that there's less of a time lag between filming, editing, and uploading. And okay, I see people saying hi and namaste. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Namaste to you as well. And I think for me now, I want to be consistent. We all, I think, as a team want to be more consistent on YouTube, and I felt the way to do that is to just be in alignment with what we're also teaching offline, and then bring that into the online space as well. So while I'm super pumped to do Hatha Pradipika at some point, I do think that there's still some time for me to deliver it to my best ability, and to be fully satisfied with the kind of videos that we're producing. Because I think with the Yoga Sutra videos, for me at least, my mental standard is here. Like, I want all the video production, everything to be up here. And then I feel like that's going to take some time. So, meanwhile, we are going to dive into different forms of content. Some of it may seem more physically or asana oriented, some of it will still be philosophy oriented. But I just want us to have the space to experiment, to keep creating content that we love, and also to mirror back content that we are already teaching offline. So I want to keep all of those things in alignment with each other, and yeah, integrate as much as we can with everything moving forward. So that was just an update I wanted to share. I've been meaning to come onto YouTube and make this live stream for the longest time, and just share, like, where we are, how we're thinking, the kind of direction that we want to go in. So, yeah, I just wanted to share those thoughts. I see a couple more comments coming in. Anmol is saying, I'm a more spiritual person. Please tell the importance of waking up at 4 a.m. Yes, I will share on that. And Kuldeep is saying, ma'am, आप हिंदी में भी वीडियो बनाइए. So definitely, Kuldeep, हम हिंदी में भी वीडियो बनाना चाहते हैं. I think हम दोनों इंग्लिश और हिंदी में वीडियो बनाने की कोशिश ज़रूर करेंगे. So I think that I definitely do want to make videos in Hindi. It's just about, I think I'm trying to see whether we should continue everything in English, do something in Hindi here, or make two separate channels, English and Hindi. So things to think about. In fact, I also want to go into Marathi, to be very honest, because my mom is Maharashtrian, and we also speak Marathi very fluently. The Marathi पण खूप चांगलं येतं. That's what I think. So definitely also want to make Marathi content, because this kind of work and these kind of teachings help everyone, and language shouldn't be a barrier. So I definitely, to be honest, there's so much work that I want to do in this lifetime. I'm every single day I'm so aware of how many things I have to execute on, how many things I have to share, how many things I have to get done. And it's a blessing, and it's also a very like, it keeps you going. It really keeps you motivated to do better and to keep going forward. I think though, before I become like deeply embedded in content creation, I know that there are some things, like I was saying, like how we spent last year getting some business basics right in the offline world, which once that foundational structure exists, then I know that once that foundation is set and then we're creating content, it's just going to be up and up from there, because the foundation is already set, so we're in the process of making those kind of things happen, and also building out the team, because I mean, you see me on screen, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes making things happen. My brother, who is the co-founder of Yogi Gurukul, Ashlesha, who is the backbone of this organization. She does everything, literally all the videos that have been edited, all Ashlesha. She is phenomenal. And she teaches with me as well, so we've all done the yoga teacher training, and she assists on some classes. She's also teaching some on her own, so she's phenomenal. And we also work with Maitri, who is the graphic designer, who has designed majority of our previous Yoga Sutra thumbnails. And then at the same time, we also have Saisha, who's done a lot of our new photography. If you check out the website, you will see a lot of the new photographs, and that would be awesome. So I think that the content wise, it's getting there. We're just work in progress. It'll happen. Um, just getting the basics right in some time. Um, Bimal is saying, I think the psychology side and your format is quite unique, which brought me to very regularly check your content. So that would be perfect to continue. Yeah, I think so too. I know for sure that we also love that philosophy content. Um, but sometimes when something works well, you can also then be like, oh, we only want to do that. And I do want to explore some more formats of content. So 110,000% we want to use that same format for newer books like Hatha Pradipika, Ghiran Samhita, Manusmriti, hopefully at some point. So many different traditional books that we want to explore. Also, the Sankhya Karika, right? Because yoga and Sankhya go so much hand in hand. But I also, at the same time, want to do more physically activating content, because in the offline world, that's a lot of what we do actively. So, trying to find a balance between everything, but I think we'll get there. Um, so yeah, this is my first live stream, so I'm trying to just get my thoughts together on what I wanted to say next. um, so yes, so I think what I've explained so far is just where we've been the last year, what kind of work we're trying to do in terms of foundation setting for our organization, where we see ourselves going forward. And we're, like I said, continuing to build the team. My parents are also starting to join in, be more hands on, and be part of the team. So it's a great process. I think that in a couple more months, I feel like we will have tightened up everything that we needed to in our organizational infrastructure. And sometime in like March or April next year, I have to say, I think content wise, it'll just flow like machinery, because everything else would have been sorted, and then this can just, because I have to tell all of you this. I love speaking, and I can do this all day, like in terms of making the videos. So when we actually filmed the Yoga Sutra videos, I would do like 7 8 videos in a day, and just like finish, and then I would share it with Ashlesha, who's our editor, and then she would edit. But editing takes longer than actually filming it, because we want it to be perfect. We're finding the right b-roll shots, we're finding the right footage, right kind of placements, subtext alignments. So that took some time. But the actual speaking part is very easy for me, because I've done it for so many years. So I'm just waiting for that moment where I have the mind space and the time to just be like, let's go. Like I can just keep talking and sharing. So I felt, at least in the meantime, this live format is nice, where I can just come on and keep sharing some ideas and theories and concepts and philosophies. Like today's video is just more on updates and like where we've been, more informal. But upcoming live streams, hopefully, I'll try to choose a topic, and even if it's not a produced video, at least in live stream format, to share it, to have it out there. So that's really what I want to do. But yeah, let me answer some of the questions that some of you are writing in. Okay, so the importance of waking up at 4 a.m., right? See, according to Ayurveda, there's a lot of different timings and dosha dominance throughout the day. And because of this dosha dominance, we should sync ourselves to the timings of the day and the doshas that are dominant at the time. So, starting with 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., the vata dosha is dominant at the time. And then 4 a.m., approximately 4:30, we consider to be the Brahma Muhurat time, because it's a little bit just before sunrise, and also it's vata dominant at that time, which is great for sattva activation and spiritual practices to be done in that time period. So just the way the time of day is, like the sun is just rising, it's just going to come up in a few hours. You can feel it even in the environment that this is a very potent time of day. And if you do spiritual practices at that time, or you do meditation at that time, it gets much more enhanced, just because we're in a time clock or a time slot that is perfect for harnessing those spiritual energies. So that's why we try to do it at Brahma Muhurat. Of course, even for me, I live in Mumbai, our life is very fast paced. The kind We teach classes till late in the evening, and so always waking up at 4 may not be possible. But at least for me, I try to wake up around 5, 5:30, max to max 6, because anyway I have to teach classes at 6 after that. So um, if you have something to wake up for, you're more likely to wake up, because कुछ करना है इसलिए उठना ही पड़ेगा. So you wake up with good amount of energy in the morning. But I would say that 4 a.m., if you can manage, that's wonderful. Um, Sometimes with our professional commitments and our personal commitments and the way life flows, it can be difficult to manage 4 a.m., but 5 a.m., 6 a.m., as long as you are dedicating time to your spiritual practices, I think that is what is the most important. So that's what I would say. Um, Also, Anmol, thank you. Some very good questions. What are my thoughts on OMG 2? Does the movie destroy the importance of semen retention in your view? So I did watch OMG 2. I think it was see, in my opinion, again, these are my personal thoughts. I think it was a well formulated movie, because the main thing was they wanted to talk about how we don't receive as much sexual education in our schools and colleges. So their main point was more that we have the Kama Sutra, we have the Kama Shastra, we have work on this field that we're not taught actively in schools. And even if we are taught it, it's taught more from a Western perspective than an Indian one. So I think the main perspective of the movie was that education from a parent's perspective, school perspective, and children's perspective is important, because then children know what they should and should not engage in. And then once that happens, then people, free will, right? So people are open and free to make their own choices. So I think each to their own. What I have realized is that brahmacharya, abstinence, and the way a person should conduct themselves always has to be their own choice. If we try to force something or say something too much, people start rebelling. So I have seen that we should give people as much, the whole spectrum of knowledge, as much as possible, कि ये है ज्ञान जो आप ले सकते हैं, and then you decide where you fall on the spectrum, because people's consciousness develops at its own pace. People who are ready for it will anyway go there. People who are not ready for it will not be able to digest. So I just feel the movie was designed to educate us about the fact that sexual education is important, especially from an Indian perspective, and that I believe. Now, whether it was promoting or not promoting brahmacharya is a different conversation. So I think that I don't think the scope of the movie was going in that domain. So yes, that's what I believe. Um, does only doing yoga and not having the power of charitra will make us a great nation? What are your thoughts on nation character building? Great question. I think charitra is massively important, right? Because as a country, like right now, India is poised to be a superpower. We are all, I think we can all feel that energy. It's so palpable because even when I studied abroad versus when I'm back home, it's just so the energy is so upward. We're all like aiming high, dreaming big. It feels like we're almost invincible. Like people have that energy, kuch bhi, hum karke dikhayenge, we're going to do it. Everyone seems to be on that high kind of note, which is great. But I think that energy has to be channelized correctly, because अगर किसी भी चीज में ज्यादा एनर्जी है और आप उसे ढंग से चैनलाइज नहीं करेंगे तो it can go haywire also. So I think that most important thing for us as a nation right now, and for the whole world actually, because what India does will impact everyone else as well, is that we think about how to channelize this energy and this power in the right way and towards the right goals and objectives, right? So for nation building, of course, you need hard power and you need soft power, right? So you need infrastructure, you need great education, you need facilities to make sure a nation builds up to that in its own time. But also, you need a lot of soft skills, leadership understanding, empathy, emotional intelligence, the ability of people to be cognizant of their community and to do things for each other. So that charitra will only come, that hard power, soft power, and charitra will only come when, as a community, we start believing that uh, we have to be better as people, right? Because what is happening now also in India is that financially we have much more disposable income. So everyone's attention is going towards how can we earn more, how can we generate more assets, which is amazing. But as long as those assets are generated ethically, it's fine. And then if you have ethical generation of wealth, you can use that to drive philanthropy and do good work for your community, generate more jobs, generate more sustainability and livelihood, which in the long run will help with nation building. So, long answer short, I think ki charitra matters, our scriptures matter, and that's why I think our inner world matters. If our intention is clear, we know why we're doing what we're doing. If we're very sure of what is our aim in this direction, then anything is possible for us as a country. Because even if we earn money, we'll earn it for the right reasons, through the right reasons, and reinvest it also into the right causes once again. So I think that charitra is everything. Your personality, how you think, how you set your intention is everything. And that can only be taught through sanskar, culture, the way a community functions. So I truly think that if the more we are in touch with our ancient ideals, with our ancient Indian philosophies and ways of being, the more our charitra will keep building. And the more, even as we become more modern, even as that happens, we will still be rooted and grounded to our Indian cultural heritage. And that would, I think, be the greatest gift that we can give ourselves and the rest of the world, that we're modern and we're futuristic, yet we have a great blend of ancient thinking and ancient cultural heritage. So that is my those are my thoughts on your question. But great questions. I think that yeah, made me think a little bit as well. So good stuff. So any more questions? I see there's, this is my first live stream. So thank you to the 5 or 6 people that are live with us and watching. I'm sure a lot of you will catch this on replay. If you do, please write in the comments if you have questions, if you have any suggestions. Yes, thanks Anmol for the awesome questions. Appreciate it. So yes, if you have questions, please put it in the comments box for this video. And yeah, I'm just going to take a moment. Let's see if any other inputs are coming in. Do I chant? Um, so the honest answer about meditation, okay, quite a few questions. Okay, so the honest answer is that I really enjoy Patanjali Yoga Sutra chanting, right? Let me show you all something. So we have this book. Okay, let me show you. This is the Patanjali Yoga Sutra book. It basically has the sutras, like just the sutras, one by one. And using this, we usually, in the laya and the tonality of the chanting, we keep on reciting these mantras and chanting with them. So this has been very, very helpful for me. It takes 30 minutes to chant the entire Yoga Sutra book, roughly, and that is phenomenal. My teachers, one of my teachers, Dr. Rajni Pradhan, she's a professor at Kevalidham. Definitely, please check out her work and her channel also, because we are who we are thanks to our gurus and our teachers. So, would highly recommend checking out. Dr. Rajni Pradhanji, and she, has, I did a Yoga Sutra chanting course with her also through Kevalidham, and that was really, really amazing. So that chanting helps me a lot. And see, when I was in school and we used to do, I had yoga in school. My yoga teacher in school was also very fond of chanting. So we would often chant the Arunachala Shiva mantra, which we really loved. And we would chant. We would also do, I mean, not really chant, but we would do meta affirmations like the Buddhist practice. So that was great. And of course, I was also associated with ISKCON for a while. Like I would do with Prabhuji a lot of work. And so the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, of course, is also amazing. And I think at the end of the day, whichever chant um, means something to you, whichever chant creates that resonance in your system, I think is the best one to go with. And of course, we all get to choose our Ishta Devta or Ishta Devi, whoever we would like to, we believe in the Sagun form, is a great way to also go towards chanting. But at the end of the day, I think it's a personal choice, whichever chants you like and you gravitate towards. So, yes, I do chant. Being very honest, not like it's every single day, but as often as I can, I do use this book and go ahead with chanting. And sometimes, I don't even realize that we doing something in the house or working, and the chant is just playing. Like I'll just be chanting Arunachala Shiva. In fact, maybe in today's live stream, maybe after some time, we can do the Arunachala Shiva chanting. I love it. And I recently did it in my one of my offline classes as well. And this whole week, actually, we've been chanting that mantra. So it's been really great. Um, yes, Radha Nam, and it proves magical. I can imagine, anything that you truly believe in, that you are convinced within your spirit that it means something to you, it can be very powerful. So, yes. About meditation. Okay, see, I think, meditation is such a vast subject. First of all, the most important thing is that meditation is a part of yoga. I think most of us, the most asked question that I get is, do you do yoga and meditation, right? Because people are thinking yoga equal to asana, whereas yoga is obviously the umbrella term, and then uske andar we have asana, pranayama, meditation, all of the different 8 angas of yoga. So yeah, firstly, that let's just be everyone remember that meditation falls within the practice of yoga. Having said that, it the way you do dhyan depends on what you choose to concentrate on as your object of focus or meditation. So I would say that, like, initially you should start with a gross object, like something that is tangible, physical, something you can experience, because it's easier to focus the mind, and then you can move towards more and more gross elements. Eventually you can move towards subtle qualities and abstract essences, but that takes time. So I would say initially starting off with, even like, if suppose for example, like on my table I usually keep the Devi's small murti, you, trying to focus on something like even as small as this can be really powerful because it's gross, and my mind can easily focus on it more. So I think that's a good place to be at. And then secondly, I would say, also try to make everything you do a meditation, because why should we suppose for example we are doing something, like we're reading, or right now also, like I'm talking to you all, I'm focused, I'm in this moment, this is um dhyan for me, right? So I think that of course we should separately also sit in meditation and do it, but at the same time we should also make everything as meditative as possible, so that we're not doing whatever we want in our daily life and then waiting to meditate so that we can focus, right? Everything should have elements of that level of focus as much as we can. So yeah, that's what I would say. But good, great. I should have gone live much earlier. What nice questions. I really appreciate it. Um, do you practice focusing? Yeah, I think all of us do, in many different ways. Like all of us are focusing. We may not realize it, but we are at all times, we are focusing. Um, the difference is your quality of focus, right? The difference is the longevity of your focus. The difference could be how enthusiastically you focus over a period of time. So I think most of us have the capacity and the capability to focus, but the question is like how well can we continue to do it. So I would say in that sense, agar aap meditation kar rahe ho, like if you meditate on a daily basis, then your general ability to focus just improves, because you are able to hold it longer, better quality wise, and then also with greater enthusiasm. So, yeah. About Pratyahar, do you have Patanjali? Yeah, they Patanjali Yoga Sutras are the best. They really are. I love it. I'm telling you, I have to tell you all. I was when was I was, I think, 14 or 15 years old when we first learned about the Yoga Sutra. I mean, I knew about it, but I never studied it up until I was 14. Yeah, I was 14, eighth or ninth standard. And I don't know, I was just so taken by the Yoga Sutras. Something about it, I was like, this is so true. Like, I remember studying it at the time and I was like, why doesn't everyone else know this? Or why didn't I know this before? And at the same time, when we were being taught it, I just felt like this is truth, like at least one form of truth that I feel very resonant with, because we have to also remember absolute truth is very difficult to get in touch with. All we are all doing is relative forms of truth and trying to go in that direction. So for me, I felt like it was a one of the deepest forms of truth that I had encountered. And I that time only, when I was so young, I decided that I'm going to share this and I'm going to share with as many people as I can and talk about it. And just I don't know, I felt like ye to, like more people have to know about this. I just felt like it's my duty to share that. And that's why I was saying that once I finished making the Yoga Sutra videos, and especially once they finished being uploaded on our channel, I was like, oh, now what? Because I have thought about this since I was so young that I don't, yeah. So there was a part of me that was like, ab naya laksh, what's the next goal? Like, and then that's why I was like, okay, let me find the next book that I feel called towards. On another note, though, we are thinking of making more Patanjali Yoga Sutra summary videos, like chapter one summary, chapter two summary, chapter like stuff like that. So we will do that too, but dheere dheere, we're in the process. At the same time, I have to mention, if you all are interested in learning more, the best place to start is knowing the six Indian philosophies, right? Because if you don't know those Shardarshana, then understanding the, like, that's like setting the context, and then the Yoga Sutras is one part of the piece of the puzzle. So if you know the Shardarshan, then it becomes much easier to, like, you have more context. So that I would say is highly recommend. And our first course, which I'm so excited about, is about the Shad Darshan. So if that interests you and if you enjoy it, I would say please go ahead, check it out. It's on our website, yogicgurukul.com. If you hit the courses tab, it's the first course we have made, and again, made with a lot of love. Same editing style, same everything. So please watch it, give us feedback, tell us how it is. And yeah, please do give us some feedback on it and check it out. um okay, quite a few questions. Yeah, everyone else that's also joining in, like, it's different from Instagram. So I can't see everyone's names while they're joining in. But please, okay, one second. Um, yeah, I was gonna say, so please, like, if you're here and you have questions, that's how I will be able to see your name. Mm, yay, thank you. Thank you, Gurinderjeet Singh. I know you're also a member on our channel, so thank you so much for your support, for your kindness. And I've seen a lot of your comments on our videos also. I really appreciate it. I think that just supporting our work is, we're just so grateful for it. Thank you. And just seeing more questions. Okay, so about Pratyahar, do you have a technique? It is quite an elusive concept. Withdrawal of the senses means trying to stop hearing, or does it mean imagining an object? Okay, so Pratyahar basically means withdrawing the senses inwards with the objective that if the senses if see basically the senses will do what the mind says. So if the mind decides that it wants to shift its attention inwards instead of outwards, then that's great, because we can move towards the antarang yoga of dharana dhyan samadhi. So we need that, like we need pratyahara as a bridge. In terms of the technique, the closest one, like Brahmari, is a pranayam, but it's the closest symbolic representation of closing your senses and going inwards. So I would say it's a great way to move towards that direction. And more than that, it's also a concept, right? Like you, when you say that I'm taking my senses inwards, what that means is I'm in such deep awareness that when I'm sitting, say, in Sukhasana and Gyan Mudra, my thoughts are like flowing based on the inner world, right? Like I'm not, so somebody can be yelling my name or saying something, and my attention will not go there because I have decided that I will be focusing inwards. So hearing is just one of it. Obviously, eyes are also closed, mouth is also closed, sensation is also touch sensation is also directed inwards. So it's all पांचों ज्ञान इंद्रियों को अंदर की ओर लेना is basically the practice of pratyahar, ताकि हम बाद में ध्यान और मेडिटेशन की ओर ज्यादा आसानी से जा पाएं. तो उसे करने के लिए अगर हम प्रत्याहार की टेक्निक ठीक से करेंगे तभी वो पॉसिबल हो पाएगा. So I would say Brahmari is a good way to symbolically consider it. But yeah, see, it doesn't stop the senses, right? Because we still need the Gyan Indriyas to function. But right now, they're aware, like antenna is directed to the outer world. But when you take it in, its antenna gets directed to the inner world. So now, subtle sensations, communication through organs, communication through subtle chakra channels, energy channels, nadis, all of that becomes more aware. Like I can, like, for example, for me, because of so many years of yoga practice, I feel like I'm very in touch with um, the subtlety of my body, right? Like I can sense if something isn't feeling good, I will immediately know that this is not good for my body. I shouldn't be like either consuming it or activating it. I can even tell you sometimes where some emotions are more deeply held or present. And many people can do this, not like it's just me. It's just that if you practice for a long time, your awareness becomes so sharp of the inner world that you become much more cognizant of these things. So yeah, that's what I would say. Oh, sorry. I'm not Indian. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just sometimes explaining in Hindi is way easier because it's you can take the concepts and just immediately explain them in the language that is easier to grasp. But I anyway repeated the same thing in English also, so you didn't miss anything. Um, do I see a sudden resurgence of cultural and civilizational values in India? Yes, I do, and I think it's great. Um, I think it was much needed, and it was going to happen because I have understood one thing, at least from what I gauge, that whatever goes up will come down, whatever goes down will come, like it's all cyclical, right? So if you suppress something culturally too much, there will come a time where because of that suppression it will rise up to a peak. Then now what we have to do is manage that resurgence in a healthy way. Like, how do we use it for the constructive good of our country and the rest of the world? And how do we make the most of it? I think that's the critical thing here. But I think in general, it's great. And also, inherently, Indian culture, like even if you look at it from a third, like a bird's eye perspective, inherently, Indian culture is good. Like it's like I not because I belong to it, but it's got really good values and moral systems that I think we need as human beings at this time. So I think it's great. Um, I practiced 15 full days meditation, next level focus, and after that, I experienced definitely there's a different level of consciousness. Yeah, there is. See, there is like yes, one has to just do yoga and meditation, yoga, asana, pranayama, meditation for a while, and immediately you will feel that there is. See, even in we believe in yoga that there are two types of buddhis, right? Sukshma buddhi and sthula buddhi. So sukshma is subtle, sthula is gross. So if we believe that there's sukshma buddhi, then we know that there is subtle intuitive knowledge. It is a valid form of knowledge. So the more we are in touch with it, the better. And I think no one can deny intuition at this point. We all know that it's present. It's just about tapping into it. Um, yeah, see, with Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Sutras, all the different texts, we are describing we're describing basically different forms of divinity, of God, and each culture, each tradition across the ages has their own belief systems and their own, and I think we should respect all. And then, at the end, you will be drawn particularly maybe to some of them, but at the end of the day, it's all coming from the same source. It's just different forms. So, yeah. I've experienced Pratyahara. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we, depending on your level of practice, we all have in some ways at some point. So, yes. Um, yeah, for sure. I mean, see, in my personal opinion, and again, this is what I personally believe. I think it's great to, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. I really think that it's important to live in the material world for some time and be able to gain mastery over dharma, artha, and kama, because I feel if you're able to do that and then you move towards moksha, it's great, right? Because you've um, mastered a particular domain and then you've chosen to go towards moksha. So I think that it's honestly, even artha, finances, financial education, financial knowledge is very important. Like, I really honestly, like, I have a second channel. I don't know how many of you know this, but there's a second channel I've made on self development where I talk. I mean, very slowly uploading videos, but I'm going to talk about more things like financial education for Indians, financial education for women. So important. Like, it, we have to understand, especially when you're spiritually inclined or you have good intentions for the world, that it's important also to take care of the other areas of your life and not overlook them, or neglect them. And I think that's karma yoga. You being true to any particular science and mastering it to the best of your ability for good is great. I think that's important. Have I ever gone on a retreat? I haven't really gone on a retreat. I have done a lot of workshops. Actually, in school, we had done like a leadership camp sort of thing. So maybe that's the closest I have come to a retreat. But glad you asked this question, because we are actually hosting I wouldn't like an in-person intensive. I don't know if we haven't really called it a retreat yet, but we're thinking of hosting one in to probably Mumbai, Pune, somewhere this side, and later this year. So very excited. I've shared some information with that with my already existing online students, and they seemed pretty excited. So my offline students see me every day, so I'll see how they feel about doing an in-person retreat or intensive. But my online students are all super pumped, so we'll see how it goes. Um, wow, it's already been 50 minutes. I feel like time flies, and especially with talking, I think I am telling you, I can talk for hours. Like, I don't know if it's a good thing that I discovered this, that I discovered how to use live or not, because I feel like now I have reason to just come here every day and start talking and sharing what I feel and what I'm thinking. Okay, just reading few more questions. How to respond to people who say subtle body, nadis, chakra are pseudoscience? See, I think I've heard that many, many times before, and I think that each to their own. See, at the most, you can guide people in a particular direction, or you can say that, okay, here's some books that I've read. Why don't you try to expand your mindset and maybe give it a thought? Like, do you agree with this? Do you find it interesting? What do you think about it? Those people, honestly, those people that align and have to understand, they'll understand. Otherwise, they'll understand in the next life. It's fine. Like, it's just like earlier I used to get more worked up and I used to feel like, no, you have to understand and I will explain it to you. And now I'm very relaxed and I have full faith that whatever has to happen will anyway happen. So those who align with it, who resonate with it, will find it. Those who call it pseudoscience can keep doing that. In the end, we will develop scientific tools and techniques that are powerful enough to prove these things, and then we'll all be saying that it's not pseudoscience. So that's why I don't even bother. I'm like, yeah, okay, there's like, okay. And I have to say, okay, this is a great story. So one of my yoga teachers, she told us a story and I will always remember it because her yoga teacher said this to her. So she told us that someone in her yoga teacher's house broke broke a vase, like they broke something, and then he didn't like respond. He was like, okay, okay, just put it on the side, and and then everyone was asking him like, that was such an expensive vase, like how did you not scream at him, why didn't you say something? And you know what he said? He said that if glass breaks on the outside, that's okay, but it shouldn't break inside me. And when I first heard that, I was like, wow, that's phenomenal, right? Because that's what it is. Like someone saying pseudoscience, someone saying, okay, okay, like fine, I will, that's your personal belief system. No hate, it's okay, that's what you believe, it's fine. Like, and through difference of opinion is how we will get to newer levels of understanding, right? Like someone who's challenging something may encourage us to go deeper in the subject, and maybe we'll also learn something new in that process. So yeah, to each their own. And I think that like I said, as you go higher and higher in levels of understanding and consciousness, things that have to align with you will align, and things that don't won't. And anyway, we have our next lives. You don't learn it now, you learn it at some other point. um okay. Do I follow Sadhguru? Yes, I do. I haven't watched his videos in a while, though, to be honest. But I do. I do, and I really appreciate his work. I have read his book called, I've read Inner Engineering. I've read his book on death, which, by the way, was very, very helpful. I would highly encourage anyone who has not read that book, please read that book. Um, I One of my friends from school, my age actually, unfortunately passed away a few 2 years ago, and we were all of us were very shocked and surprised, as you can imagine, because at the time we were only like 23 or 24, and Sadhguruji's book on death at the time was very helpful because it gave me the right perspective with which to think about someone's passing and why things happen at the timing that they do and what it means. And I would 10,000% recommend, if there's any book you read, if there's only one book, please read Death by Sadhguru. It's fantastic. And he talks about how we should all prepare to die well, to have a good death. And it's a very, very, like whenever we do die, like not right now, like when, if and when your time comes, you should make your life so phenomenal and so spiritually enhanced that whenever your time comes, um, you're ready, and you're spiritually in the right place. Yes, Sai Kiran, Death is a great book. I absolutely love it. Um, Modi ji, um, see, I have to say, there are many different types of yogis, right? Some people are yogic on a physical level, which means kriya, asana, pranayam, etc. Some people are more on, like, say, pranayamic level, like deeper forms of pranayam with the mudras and bandhas. Some people are on a spiritual level. Like, I have to say, some people you'll meet and they're just yogic by nature. Like, they're yogic by nature. Sai, I have read Karma. It's a phenomenal book. I've read Inner Engineering, Karma, and Death, and one or two more also on emotional health and well-being. But I was gonna say that, yeah, some people are yogic in nature, and they may not have actively studied yoga philosophy, or but their actions, their inherent personality, their qualities are so good that they're yogic in the way they are. And that is phenomenal, because that means at some point they must have done sadhana to have cultivated such great qualities, and to be born in families that encourage those qualities. That means they must have done something right that is making them that way. I also have to say here that I have personally met people who study the sutras, who study philosophy, who do all of that, and they're not very good people, or they don't have very good habits, or they don't have the right approach to life. And I'm always baffled by that, right? Because I'm like, how can you be studying this the whole day and live like this? It's shocking to me. But I've realized that some people, again, no hate, some people will study a subject and will leave it at the subject level and not embody those practices in real life, and that's okay. Like, that's the level they're at that time, that's fine. But I personally feel like if you're studying something that deeply, then habitually it should be part of your life, right? Otherwise, like, I don't know, I don't think it makes sense if you're not embodying the practices to the highest form. um wow, thank you for making my first live stream so interesting. I love these questions. um you're such a good storyteller, thank you. I have done a lot of theater, elocution, performing arts all my life. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoy speaking. Um, After doing Sanyam, I've actually got recommended your Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Wow, thank you. That's so sweet. Also, I have to say, I have seen a lot of comments on my videos on chapter 3 where people are commenting saying it's pronounced as Samyama. That's not how you pronounce it. And I see all the comments. I don't reply to them because I don't want to get into even good bad, right? I want to be unaffected by posts, but I do see it. Some comments I do go ahead and like put a heart on it. My team also sees it, so we do see it. But I don't tend not to respond to all. So I was just going to say that some people are like, you, that's not how you pronounce it. But honestly, all my teachers, and they're all PhD Sanskrit scholars, pronounce it as Sanyam. That's what I have heard it as that. Okay, like genuinely. So maybe some teachers say Samyama, maybe, but my teacher says Sayam. That's why I say it. Okay, like, don't hate me in those videos. And sometimes I'll see like slightly negative comments on some videos. I'm like, but why? Like, I'm not trying to. I don't know. I'm never. Yeah, I see like slightly. Mostly comments are great, right? Most of the comments, touch wood, are all positive. Like, thank you so much for your work. We love this, and very, very sweet. Some comments, I'll read them and I'll be like, no, like, why do you think that way? But yeah, like, don't hate on us. We're overall good people. We're just trying to do good work here, like, genuinely. Um, Three people changed my life: Sadhguru, Patanjali Maharishi, and a yogi near my home. Yeah, always good to shout out the people that have changed your life. Ritambara Pragna is something I've never thought would be a reality in my life. Yeah, I mean, see, because it's like the highest level of truth, and it's hard to think about how we would ever experience that. Um, but yes, but I mean, when you're deep in those states of meditation, anything is possible. So never say never. Comments that are testing my spirituality, maybe, yeah, possibly, possibly. I just have to hang in there and be like, yes, sending you love. But also, I will say one thing I have learned over time: as much as we are love and light and positive energy beings, it's also so important to know when to draw your boundaries. So if most users are good, but if anyone ever crosses the line in on YouTube, in real life, anywhere, I will call it out and I will end it, because I realized that to protect a community is also very important, and to make sure that the right type of behavior is displayed towards like kindness, basically. Like, I mean, like good behavior towards each other. That's very important to me. So I haven't had to block anyone per se yet on YouTube as such, but if it crosses a line, like I've become more observant of these things, and I'm able to like take a stand when needed. Thank you, Pooja. Really love your channel and the way you share your knowledge. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Um, Sant Premananda Vrindavan has changed my life. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine. Laksh, Lakshay, all I can say is rise in spirituality, my friend. That's what we all need to do. Yes. It has been an hour, you all. So if there are any more questions, please let me know. Then I have a class to teach, so I will start getting ready for class. But this was really fun. I had a great time. I thought I was my plan was originally to just come here and like chit chat and talk, but it was really nice to see all the questions. Sadhguru says, Swami Dayanand Saraswati is the greatest influence on my life. Any views on your part? Thank you, Vidhu, for the question. I wish I had more of um, direct view on this, because I think, all of the Swamis who have contributed to our yogic lineage, our collective heritage, and our lifestyle are just phenomenal people. And from the limited knowledge that I have of him, I know that he was a fantastic human being and an even better teacher, practitioner, and learner of the yogic path. But I have to say, my deepest apologies that I don't know as much about his life as I should. Would be very happy if you could share more information. I would love to read and get to know more. I'm a nerd, so any information I will take it in. Um, but yeah, for me, my primary Swami Kuvalananda ji, who is the founder of Kevalidham, has been my greatest, I would say, influence. Even Sri Aurobindo, for that matter, both were gurus of my gurus. So so far, I have heard more about them and spent more time in their learning about their life. But even Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji, I would love to know more if there's anything you'd like to share. And Pooja, please make videos frequently. I know that's exactly why I had to make this video, to talk about how we're really trying to be more consistent, and trying to go in that direction. So fingers crossed, we will get there. Viduji, I strongly recommend that you read his Satyarth Prakash. Thank you. I will actually write that down. Seriously, if any book suggestions or recommendations, I take them very seriously. And I'm telling you, like, the best thing you can ever give me is a book recommendation because it expands the knowledge. So thank you for that. I have written it down and I will definitely engage. So yeah, Pooja, I was saying that I'm glad to hear it's helped you in your exam, and we will keep making videos. So just trying to see how to balance life and media production and everything at the same time. But People who've just come in the beginning of this video, I was saying that I'm just trying to find the right way to complete building the foundational elements of our organization and like of being in Mumbai, and then I can get back into a regular video routine. So that is what I will be doing. Um, Durga ji, I really love the way you explain Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Thank you. What do I do for a living? This I do this. This is what I do. I am a full-time yoga teacher and content creator, and I also used to be a. I mean, I still am like a media and creative consultant. So academically, I have studied business management and marketing and media production. I don't know if you all know this, but I used to, because I love the performing arts. I love being on stage. I used to do modeling while I was in London for some time, and then I used to also like I was doing a little bit of theater, and I was doing. I really wanted to be uh, in the media space, basically in front of a camera. So currently, my job, which is teaching, speaking, making videos, lets me do that. So that's what I do and hope to continue to do for a very long time. So yeah. You're doing great work for someone who's the age of my daughter. Oh, thank you, God, thank you so much, Viduji. That's lovely. I thank you so much, and your blessings mean the world to me. I honestly think it's thanks to my teachers and my gurus and the good fortune that I had to be born in a yoga institution. I think that has like sped up my entire journey and process, and I had access to a lot of things from a very young age, which is why I think it is the way it is. What is the So thank you for that. And I'm only saying, what is the goal of my life? How old am I? So the goal of my life, I think, is at all times to be authentic to the divinity that is flowing through me, which means that at all times, because we are constantly changing, some parts of us are constantly being reinvented, which is the Prakriti part of us. And then, of course, the Purusha part of us, for those of you who know Sankhya, is ever present and inert in that sense. So I just hope that in this lifetime, I'm able to channelize that divine knowledge through me, and I'm able to use myself as a vessel in that direction. And I also honor the different seasons of life, because I know that what is important to me today might change a little bit tomorrow, depending on the phases of life. Like right now, I have so many roles to play as sister, a daughter, um, a business owner, a leader, a friend. And I know it'll keep on changing. Tomorrow, when you're a wife, when you're a mother and a grandmother and great grandmother, so many things will change. So the goal of my life is to keep, through all the seasons of life, through all the phases of life, to be in touch with divinity as much as I can, and to channelize that in the most authentic way possible through each season of life. That is what I hope I can do. How old am I? I'm born in 1996, and was, and I am 27 years old. A perfect example of students who likes to be on a stage. Yeah, I am 110,000%. Like I was always the compare and the MC. I have actually MC'd a lot. Like in recently, my cousin got married, and I MC'd her wedding. So I'm very much that person who is just like, where's the mic? I just want to be on stage. You're enjoying the punya here and now of your past lives. Thank you. I think, yeah, I hope that I create more good work, not just for the sake of my karma collection, but more for actually doing the work itself. So thank you for that. Um, and yeah, what I'll do is I'll try to stay on for another 5-10 minutes, and then I really should get going for my class. So any last thoughts, any things to share? Be more on live. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, because it's also much easier. Usually otherwise I have to film the video, then we have to wait. Post production takes time, then we upload it. It takes time, but this is much easier and faster to at least have that interaction and to share how, how things are going and build that connection. So yes, please never change yourself. Thank you. Yeah, I think some things are inherent, some things are genuinely like values, certain qualities I think will stay the same. Got to go, sorry. Lots of thanks. Keep going strong. If you want to do some content in Mauritius, I can assist. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bimalji. That is so sweet. And definitely, Mauritius is one place I've always wanted to visit. So I would love to. I have friends in Mauritius as well who I had met in London. So would 100% love to be in touch about that. Do you know Somveer Arya? No, I don't, but I will Google it and Google the YouTube channel. Um, so yes. Yes, even do have to go. So I think at this point, I will call it a day and I will thank you all for spending 1 hour, 10 minutes with me today. Uh, I have been thinking about doing this live for a long time, like I was saying, but today there was that inspiration inside me to just do it. So, yeah, very happy to be here. One more book suggestion, More Than a Life. Okay, thank you. I'm going to write that down. More Than a Life. Yeah, I think everybody, like, there's so much to learn from everywhere. More Than a Life by Arundhati Subramaniam. Okay. One book that I'm reading right now, and this is like not, this is called Braving the Wilderness. It's by Brene Brown. She's an amazing author, has written excellent books on vulnerability. So maybe many of you may not know this, but I'm really interested in psychology, mental health, the whole world of self development. So I read a lot of books on those topics too that are written by a lot of, say, Western researchers and scholars, and I try to keep drawing parallels in my mind. I think it helps to soak in knowledge from the best of the best and then use it where relevant. um, can a yogi have a girlfriend? See, I think the best thing to do is to very sincerely and genuinely find the right partner for marriage. I honestly think that relationships should be looked at from a perspective of marriage, because family units are what keeps a culture and a civilization going. And family units and grihastashram is very, very important. So I would say girlfriend, it reduces the value of a person. Why girlfriend? Someone should, we should look at people from a perspective of me, like being with them forever. Like I really believe in the institution of marriage, especially if it's a sattvic way of getting married and you combine energies, resources, and ways of being for greater good and doing great in society. I think that is what is the right thing to do, right? See, when a yogi is when someone wants to do tapasya or sannyas from a young age, that's also quite respect, that's amazing. And then if they're clear about that, then they should do that, go in that direction. But those who want to be in householder life and want to be in grihastashram, I arrange marriage is the best. Arrange, honestly, like, that's the best thing to do. And then or if you meet someone naturally, that's also amazing. But the point is that let's look at people from a perspective of, do I want to spend the rest of my life with them and build something genuine, meaningful, and impactful, or not? Like, girlfriend is too low in my mind. Like, I follow a lot of content creators, and uh, you should, if anyone's hearing this right now, universe guru Meena Irfan, she has done phenomenal work, hands down one of the people that I really look up to. And she talks a lot about this, that there's no such actual thing as a girlfriend, because that's not a, it's wife. Girlfriend is not even really a spiritual status. So I think if people go towards grihastashram, they should seriously think about who they want to be with for the rest of their life. Like, even for me, I'm 27, 28, and I'm thinking in that direction. Like if I want, when, if and when I'm ready to be in grihastashram, marriage, straight family unit creation for the long run. Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are the greatest work of psychology. I say this as a retired family doctor based in Birmingham, UK. Yes, absolutely. And also, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to know that you're also a doctor. Amazing. And you're probably also my father's age, which is which is great. And please let us know if you ever visit India. And I was in London, UK for a while. Loved being there, but I think home was here, so I decided to come back. Huberman for psychology. I know I do listen to the Huberman podcast. In fact, we did a case study on him for another project that I was working on. So Huberman Labs, I am big fan. Satyarth Prakash is a useful section on marriage types and quality. Yes, yes, I will definitely check out this book. And yeah, seriously, I do believe that grihastashram is important, and the right type of marriage can facilitate so much spiritual growth. So yeah, that's my opinion overall. All right, I definitely have to call it a day now to head over for my next class, but it was absolutely wonderful spending so much time with all of you. So thank you so much for being here and joining this live so impromptu. I will do my best to do more of these live sessions, and I promise that we will not we will not be so far away from YouTube for this long. Like my hope and the whole team's hope is to continue uploading videos as often as we can. And I will end the live session just by saying that if there's any way we can help, if there's anything you'd like to, either share with us, work with us, collaborate with us, always open to do great work. So my email ID will, I think, be in the description of this video, and our website is yogicgurukul.com. So always please feel free to write to us. And if you find it helpful, do join our classes, courses, and workshops. That would be amazing. So thank you so much once again, everyone, and I will see you next time. So let me just figure out how to end this now. And yes, Lakshay, I ended this by reading your comment. Thank you for that. Awesome. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic, wonderful, wonderful week ahead. And I will see you soon. Take care.